We're all watching these AI models get smarter practically every single day. But while we've been focused on the software, the real race has completely shifted. It's not just about algorithms anymore. The new battlefield is way more physical, and the challenges, well, they're hitting some very, very real walls.
Okay, so let's just start with a prediction that really sets the stage for all of this. OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, he recently dropped this bombshell. He's claiming that AI is on the verge of outperforming even our most brilliant human researchers. And get this, he's not talking about some far-off sci-fi future. He's talking about what's coming in just the next few years.
And this timeline, wow, it really puts his prediction into perspective. Just look at this. By 2026, small discoveries, fine. But then, just 2 years later, major scientific breakthroughs. And after that, AIs that can solve problems that would literally take us centuries. I mean, that kind of acceleration is it's insane.
So you see all that and you think, okay, this incredible future feels pretty much inevitable, right? So, what's the one thing that could stop this runaway train in its tracks? What is the biggest obstacle standing between us and this completely new era?
Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It has absolutely nothing to do with the code or the models or the data. Nope. The real bottlenecks are now happening out here in the physical world. And they really boil down to 3 fundamental crises.
All right, so let's start with the first crisis, and honestly, this one is genuinely shocking. It's our planet's physical infrastructure. We are quite literally hitting a power wall, as in we're running out of the juice needed to fuel this whole revolution.
And look, this isn't just some theory. This is a direct admission from the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. He basically confirmed that even after spending billions on the best chips, a huge number of them are just sitting in a warehouse, gathering dust because they literally can't get enough electricity to turn them on.
So what this really means is that the whole game has changed. For years, the AI race was all about who could get their hands on the most advanced chips. But today, the new scarcity, the new gold, the real bottleneck is just power. And if you need any more proof of just how serious this is, get a load of this, Google's Project Suncatcher. They are reportedly exploring the idea of sending their computer chips into orbit just so they can generate their own power from the sun. I mean, when going to space starts to look like a practical solution, you know the problem back here on Earth is absolutely massive.
So that brings us to crisis number 2, and this one builds right on top of the first. This isn't just about plugging things in anymore. It's become a full-blown geopolitical battle. The race for AI supremacy is now a central piece of the global power struggle.
What we're seeing is the rise of what you might call a geopolitical-industrial complex. This is where the line between a commercial tech company and a country's national security strategy has gotten, well, completely blurry. Tech isn't just a business anymore. It's a tool of national power.
And just listen to this quote from a panel of defense tech executives. They're not just talking about software. They are arguing that rebuilding America's physical manufacturing base, making things here at home, is a real deterrence tool. Think about that. The act of making things is now seen as a way to prevent conflict.
And this has huge, real-world consequences for every big tech company out there. If you're a CEO, your strategy isn't just about finding the cheapest place to build something anymore. Now you have to navigate U.S. export controls, the constant threat of new tariffs, and this urgent pressure to bring your entire supply chain back home.
Which brings us to our third and final crisis, and this one is different. It's not about power grids or global politics. This is an internal battle. The struggle for these big established companies to just keep up with the insane speed of AI. It creates this wild paradox, right? On the one hand, you have AI promising to change the world in just a few years. But on the other hand, inside so many of these companies, you have this massive internal friction where all the pressure to hit this quarter's sales targets completely kills any real long-term innovation. So, how do you fix that? Well, Mark Zuckerberg came up with a pretty radical and very physical solution. He literally moved his top-secret superintelligence lab to be just 15 feet away from his own desk. And the logic here is actually simple but really powerful. By closing that physical distance, he's trying to eliminate the organizational distance. His goal, in his own words, is to minimize bureaucratic lag and force his company to move at the same breakneck speed as the tech it's building. So, okay, we've got an infrastructure crisis, a geopolitical crisis, and this internal innovation crisis. It sounds pretty daunting, right? But this new reality also comes with a new playbook for any leader who actually wants to win this next phase of the AI race. And it really all boils down to three big shifts in mindset. First up, leaders have to realign their capital. That means stop focusing only on buying chips and start securing infrastructure, especially power. Second, they have to separate their breakthrough innovation teams from the day-to-day business. Protect those big ideas from short-term pressures. And finally, they have to integrate geopolitics right into their core strategy. It's not some external threat anymore, it's a core business function.
So here's the bottom line. As AI gets exponentially smarter, the biggest problems we have to solve are becoming less about the technology and more about us. They're about power grids, global strategy, and how we organize ourselves. And that all leads to one final question for you. Is your organization ready for the real world?